Alright, I guess I'm streaming. Let me make sure. Check, check, check. Everyone can hear me? Let's see. Let me check the audio. I got all these settings I gotta remember because live streaming. Yeah, that's not working. Damn, man. Thought I had it right. Thought I had it right. I do not have it right. Yeah, everyone can actually hear me talk, but they can't hear the beat. I don't think, can they? Let's see. Can anyone hear a beat right now? I knew something was gonna go wrong. What's going down, everyone? Can you hear guitar? I don't think anyone can hear this. Damn it, man. Yikes. My bad for switching the view so many times. I'm still trying to figure out how this this audio situation is actually gonna work. Yeah, still not working, is it? Damn it, man. It's always something with technology. Yeah. In the meantime, how's everyone doing? Appreciate you. Thank you. Bro, I'm okay. Let me just address this right now. This whole like me being in my 50s thing. I am not in my 50s. Someone said I look like 30. Yeah, that's about right. Shout out to Abe at BeatStars for sending out a tweet wishing me a happy 56th birthday a couple weeks ago. Um, he actually, I thought it was funny. I wish he hadn't deleted the tweet, but he did delete it because too many people were believing that I was in my 50s. Not that there's anything wrong with being in your 50s, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you make it to your 50s, that's a good thing. You're supposed to grow old, right? But no, I'm not in my 50s. Sorry to disappoint anybody. The biggest disappointment is this audio. Here we go. Can you hear guitar now? Darrell Banks, what's going down? Me and him have an announcement coming soon. Someone guessed 28. Hey, let's go with that. Let's go with 28. All right, so I need everybody to tell me whether or not. Okay, you can hear. Cool. Cool. We have audio. Man, I know I titled this kind of. I don't want to say clickbaity because I was thinking about this earlier. It's crazy to me how like still in 2018 these conversations keep coming up and up and up and up and up and over again, where I think damn, aren't we past that point? And we're not past that point. I'm talking about, oh, we got Dream Life in here too. We have all kinds of this is BPM controller XL. We got all kinds of people in here that, celebrity guests and stuff. Why is my okay? But okay, I'm glad Dream Life isn't here. So I get all these, comments and inquiries and so forth every day, and one of the biggest ones, like, we're never gonna stop having this conversation about whether or not sampling is original. I mean, my stance on that is that if you're a producer, especially, or if you're a part of hip hop culture, and you still question the legitimacy of sample-based production, then you are disrespecting the culture and the pioneers that created the culture for you to be able to live within it. So that's just my opinion. But these conversations keep coming up, and I figured we were done with the whole internet thing, but I had somebody really going off about internet production and how, and internet production is a stupid word anyway, right? LaVon Griffin was going down. Yeah, see, Blacklighter said he had the same conversation. It never ends. But, oh yeah, Andrew Silva was going down. And today the conversation was, no one on the internet, no one in the industry wants internet beats. And it's like, an internet beat is only an internet beat because it's on the internet, number one. It's not like there's anything wrong with, internet beat is kind of a disparaging term, right? For no reason. I mean, an internet beat is a beat that's on the internet. So, what's the problem with it, right? To make any money on selling beats on the internet or licensing beats on the internet, your beats have to be pretty good because there's so much competition. So let's just be clear there. It's the reason people like Dream Life are winning. But anyway, and yeah, shout out to Sincere. He said a lot of hits have come from internet beats, and that's what I'm saying, man. The conversation as to whether or not, and this is what the comment was today, it was that industry dudes don't want internet beats that everybody has access to. So then we had this conversation. It's weird to, I mean, I get it, but in 2018 going into 2019, it's weird because it's like me going, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but it's like I can go outside right now and say, there are no cars on my street, and then I look around and there are 37 cars on my street. It's difficult for me to cling to that opinion about there not being cars on my street when I'm looking around and there are cars on my street. Same deal with this internet production thing. Industry dudes don't want internet beats. And I just put up this morning that interview with Nasty, who's the head of A&R at Pro Era. The label that everybody knows is Joey Badass label, right? And there were a couple interviews with Joey Badass where he said, yes, I've gone online and downloaded Joey Badass type beats. Okay, that's interesting. And you look at the charts right now. I mean, we can go through the whole history of beats that artists have gotten on the internet that have turned into hits. And I didn't know. Everyone knows Panda, right? Everyone knows Panda. It ended up on Kanye's album. A lot of people that hate on these internet producer beats probably are Kanye fans. Because when it comes to a statement like industry dudes don't want internet beats, can you get more industry than somebody like Kanye? No, not really. A$AP Rocky's first album, those were off of SoundClick, and you can confirm this in my DJ Burn 1 interview because he's the one that produced the tracks that he put onto SoundClick. Coco by OT Genesis, internet beat. That's why you had that Jermaine Dupri meme that was going around spreading the lie that you can't get paid royalties off of internet beats. Not that it has anything to do with Jermaine Dupri. It has to do with whoever created the meme out of twisting his words. Right now we got Medicine. That's a charting record. Internet beat. Check my interview with 30 Hertz Beats. He produced that. What else? Leave Me Alone, Flip the Narrow. Internet beat, produced by Young Forever. I interviewed him. Dream. Okay, so let's talk about Dream Life. Yeah. Young M.A. That was NY Bangers. He's on BeatStars. Trap Queen, Fetty Wap. Yeah, a lot. Oh, Bryson Tiller. Yeah, Bryson Tiller talked about this. YBN, the whole YBN, because Rubbing Off the Paint by YBN Namir was an internet beat. And so it's like, why are we still having this conversation when we can just sit here and list all of the industry hits? When I say industry, let's be clear. There are 4 major labels on this planet. Only 4. This is what we're talking about. I'm not talking about a song going viral on an independent level or an unsigned level. I'm talking about industry hits. Like, these people are signed to one of these 4 major labels. If it's Warner Brothers, if it's Universal, so it's one of these. And yeah, that's another point that Sincere's making. Who cares where the beat comes from? Well, Wayne Beat said that too. No one cares if the song is dope, so they don't care. I understand the mentality though, because I had that attitude, and then people will say, so like I doubt Nas is on the internet right now looking for Nas type beats, because he probably just go with Salam Remy or something. But to the people saying, I want to work with big industry artists, are you going to get your beats to Nas? I don't think so. So what's the issue? Why are you too good to mess with the internet? And if you don't want to mess with the internet, that's fine. It's just asinine to make the claim that producers on the internet can't work in the industry, especially when you have Steven Victor going out and signing Cash Money AP, especially when you have APG signing Taz Taylor, especially when you have the Billboard top 10 full of internet beats. And it's weird because people feel like it compromises their art as a producer. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why. Because it's like a painter saying, my painting has to hang in a locked room, otherwise the more people who see it, the lesser my art's going to be. It doesn't make sense. But I kind of felt that way, like way back. So Dream Life made the point that Yondo, who's the king of J. Cole type beats, actually got contacted by J. Cole, because you literally can't type J. Cole type beat anywhere on the internet without him coming up. That was smart. I remember back when I was getting industry placement. I mean, I still am here and there, but after my first 1 or 2 industry placements, I was just kind of, so immersed in the industry that I was thinking there's no other way. There's no way that these producers leasing beats on the internet for $12.99 can make a living. Because the industry checks are 4 to 5 figures. So you think, yeah, that's great. The industry's the only way to make money. You get $10,000 a beat from a major label. But for somebody like me, if I do that once or twice a year, that's $20,000, not counting what I have to pay my lawyer, not counting what I have to pay management, not counting what I have to pay in taxes. And if it's a collaborative beat, then I have to split that. So it really doesn't amount to much money at all. But what was so stupid of me, but this is back then, but it was very stupid of me to think, just because I'm looking at the price points of producers on the internet, oh, $12.99, you can't make any money off that. All right, what's the cost of, bro, you don't pay rent, you live at your parents' house. I actually just bought a house, but I appreciate you for chiming in. The price points kind of turn me off, but it's like, how much does a can of soda cost? 50 cents to $1? Is Pepsi not making money? So it's kind of funny that I even had that attitude. It doesn't make any sense. But I feel like people still have that misconception about the internet. In the era where, you know, hit after hit. I just talked to somebody this morning. I don't know if he wants me putting his business out there, but a producer who just got a viral hit that he didn't even know about. So that's the problem with the internet. A lot of people just think they can do whatever they want with a beat or any piece of content that they find online, and then they have a viral hit and they make a bunch of money off of it. Okay, now they have to go back and talk to the creator about that. So it's not just always the industry, like the major labels. There are a lot of people on the independent level going viral that probably will end up being signed by a major label at that point. So you get linked up with those people, and you know, there's no telling where you can go. Pepsi analogy is a good point. The question is if the market is big enough. Yeah, the market is big. Selling beats is whack. I'm trying to get placements. You know, good luck, man. I was trying to do the same thing. I'm happy making a living, so you know, when I found out these so-called internet producers were making $20,000 a month, that changed things, because I didn't even believe that number. And then I met like 10 who were definitely making that much money a month. So I'm thinking, well, what's the point of, you know, you chase a placement, you might get $5,000 to $10,000, but if you're not getting 2 placements a month, then there's no guarantee you're going to be able to make as much money as a top producer who's leasing beats online. So, you know, if you that's your opinion, but unless you see the paperwork, we don't know what anybody is doing. We don't know what kind of money anyone's making. There was a period when, I mean, unless we're in their pockets or they're showing us their statements, a lot of people aren't. There was a point when, I know Yondo was I don't know if Dreamlife is still in the chat. Yondo was a part of it. I want to say 30 Hertz was a part of it. I know Taylor King just came out and said what he was making, but they all had screenshots of this and of their monthly earnings, and it was like 10,000, 12,000, 20,000. So, you know, is anybody gonna not, number one, working for yourself, number two, keeping 100% of your master ownership, and number three, making 5 figures a month off of sitting at home doing what you love, which is making beats? Nah, I think you know, and a lot of these guys are getting placements. Don't get it twisted. There are very few top selling internet producers. Probably like 50% of them have gotten major placements. Even way back, Johnny Giuliano had the first official Wiz Khalifa single when Wiz Khalifa had the Warner Brothers deal. check my interview with Edan about that, because that's interesting. And it's crazy that internet producers make a lot, but it's a good reference point for the state of the game, because I think it's a great compromise. But let's be honest. Are there next year? Are there going to be fewer rappers than there are this year? No. So, you know what I'm saying? Why do we think that the market is shrinking? Just because the competition might be increasing, but we can't let that scare us. We got to keep making music. I don't want to put you through the pain of watching me play this. You can see that it took me some time to play this whole thing. So let me use my my free plugins to make actually, I don't want to make it sound cool yet. This is obviously not a real guitar. Maybe it's not obvious. It's a pretty good VST. Nah, it's kind of obvious. I think it was Cody who went online and said, don't use this sound. I'm using it anyway. These to kind of sound sloppy because I want to make it sound like a sample. No matter what, I kind of want everything to sound like a sample, so I don't know. The guitar is I'm not the only I'm not the only producer who uses acid plug. I'm gonna be doing some more tutorials on it. What was I gonna say? Shout out Beats by Def. Yeah, definitely. The ASR 10 this is like a piece of history in my studio. Damn, that's annoying. The guitar thing is just, you just kind of have to learn how to play. It's like that with all these VSTs. You just, if you program or you play, you just kind of have to learn how to program or play that particular VST in a way that, sorry, I'm going to restart. that, because there's weird latency, that makes sense for the instrument. Uh, Nowadays sounds so good that it just kind of doesn't even matter what VSTs you're using anymore. What matters more is how you're playing them. I mean, it's always mattered how you played them, but now more than ever, since everything is kind of just good quality. Yeah, I mean, depending on the style, Rob Frank, the quantization is definitely a key, or it can be. It can be a key. So, all right. So one way to, like the quick and dirty way to make stuff that's not sampled sound kind of sampled or old. This sounds real clean, so I just threw this free plugin, Isotope Vinyl, and you can mess with the settings. Where makes it sound really destroyed, but it also distorts it if you add too much. Warp depth, everyone's kind of using that, the kind of drift effect. If you turn it all the way up, it sounds like hell. So I wouldn't use too much of that. Another thing is I use Sound Shifter. It's pitch shifting, but it's time preservation. So because it's preserving the time and stretching the pitch, it really adds some artifacts to make your audio sound destroyed. So if I go down, let's try to go up and see what happens. What I might do, honestly, is just keep the same. So if I go up, I'm just gonna make all the MIDI higher, and then I'm gonna make the MIDI higher by 5, and then I'm gonna stretch it down by 5. So it's effectively not changing the pitch at all, but you're getting the stretch effect to make it sound like it's sampled. EQ. So, I mean, now it sounds cool. I like it. I don't mess with the sense in this shit. Wait a minute. What are we talking about here? Now I gotta check. Now you're making me wonder. No. The cents are smaller units than semitones. So if I start messing with the cents, I'm effectively detuning my main instrument. So if you want to, you know what I'm saying, detune your MIDI or whatever it is that you're playing, then that's a way to do it. I know with other VSTs they might have some kind of native. I mean, actually, Acid has that too. Acid Pro has a native Timestretch option. I think they were the first VST ever. That's little known fact. This is where what someone just mentioned, Logic. This is where Logic got its Timestretch algorithm from. I believe the same programmer who programmed Acid originally, way back in the late 90s, that he went on to work for whichever company was developing Logic at the time. Obviously, Mac owns it right now, but they always did. Um, yeah, I don't think um, all music sounds the same nowadays. No, I think a lot of it does, but you gotta figure. So back, 20 years ago, you couldn't just go on YouTube and download FLP files. Nowadays you can, so what ends up happening is a lot of up and coming producers are learning from the same teachers, right? So if you got a generation of producers that learn from the same 3 to 5 top YouTube uh, producer tutorial creators, everybody's going to have similar processes, and then therefore they're more likely to have the same sounds. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that the culture is always going to respond to monotony. Always. It's the reason that when Kendrick Lamar came out, everybody freaked out. It's the reason that everybody freaked out when 6ix9ine came out. It's the reason everybody freaked out when Young Thug came out. It's the reason everybody freaked out when Lil Wayne started putting auto-tune on his rap vocals. The second you do something different during a time when music starts becoming homogenous sounding, all of a sudden you have an advantage. So, you know what I mean? You can look at the landscape and say everything sounds the same, or you can look at the landscape and say, how can I stand out given that there's so much of A, B, and C happening? So, that's the challenge. That's always been my challenge, always. And the other thing is, this is what I encourage people to do, because it's so easy to get discouraged when you look at the online marketplace, because it's saturated in a lot of ways. But one way that it's saturated is just with content. There are so many beats up there. There are so many beats, and a lot of them do sound very similar. But are they selling? So whether you're a member of BeatStars, Track Train, Airbit, whatever, go look at who the top 10, top 20 sellers are, and just listen to what they're doing, because I guarantee you they don't make the same sounding stuff. They don't. So that should be encouraging to you, the fact that people who find niches. So I'll give you some names. Obviously everyone knows Cash Money AP. He has his niche. He's solidified as the urban rap, contemporary rap producer on the internet. Mantra, Pop. Cash Money AP and Mantra sound nothing alike, but they're both making a killing. Dream Life, put him in the top. Sounds nothing like the other two. Who else? Ghost, just did a collab with him. Shameless plug, DJPayne1beats.com. And he sounds nothing like them. He always, I interviewed him and Cody at the same time. They sound nothing like each other. These are all top sellers. So I say that to encourage you. If you're getting discouraged thinking everything sounds the same, and here's the worst thing you could do, honestly, I'm telling you this, is look at the landscape and say everybody's doing this, and then you make the assumption that because everybody's doing it, that everybody's successful at doing it. That's a mistake. Don't assume that. Number two, then you take your first assumption and turn that into a plan of action for yourself. What I mean is that you look and say everyone's doing the same thing. Number one, everybody's successful. That's your assumption, which is incorrect. So therefore I need to do what everybody else is doing. So don't do that, because you're gonna you're gonna paint yourself into a corner, and there's really no benefit to that. There's really no benefit. The producers that have a niche, that have carved out a sound for themselves. We were just talking about Yondo earlier, right? So he's the guy that makes, I don't know if it's sample based, I don't know what it is, but it's this organic sounding stuff. Okay, how to stand out on BeatStars. I feel like I'm telling you how to stand out right now. It doesn't matter where you're standing out, whether the arena is BeatStars, whether the arena is YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's SoundCloud. Just find a niche. Here's my if you haven't watched my producer grind interview, I'm gonna actually isolate a certain part of it because I had to learn this lesson. Damn, I wish Dream Life were still in here because Dream Life is the one who showed me this fact about myself. He said that I you know he it's not like he told he was he wasn't being critical. I have to be accurate here. He didn't just tell me what to do, but we were having a conversation about what kinds of beats I needed to make, and he was like, "Yeah, but nobody. I'm not gonna try to do his accent. Nobody can make those soulful beats like you." And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, I never thought of it that way, which is dumb of me to not think. But a lot of us, we're just focused on what everybody else is doing. We need to have a conversation with ourselves and figure out what we like making. And obviously, if you know anything about my resume, my very first track was this soulful sample-based beat for Jeezy. Not my very first track ever, but my very first major placement, which was a #1 record. Then another #1 record, Royce the 5'9", a #2 record, Ludacris and Rick Ross. So, and then another well-known record, 50 Cent and Schoolboy Q. They all and The Game with Jadakiss and Styles P. This is all stuff that I really enjoy making, and to a degree, it was successful in the industry insofar as placements were concerned, right? So, Dream Life's point to me was, since you're already known for making that style, since people already like it, and since you clearly like that style, that's what you need to be focusing on. So, that's what I did, and I'm telling you, man, it changed. My online beat licensing changed overnight. Not overnight, but within like a month, it started changing. I could tell that it was changing. So, whatever you like making, do that. I'm not saying that won't change. And if you're at a point in your career where you're just kind of experimenting with sound, then don't even worry about sales, man. Just have fun and make music. You should always be making music and having fun while doing it, but there are moments when it feels like work. But for the most part, it should just come from you naturally. Otherwise, you're just gonna get burned out. The point of being a musician, a self-employed musician, as hard as it is that you have freedom because you're self-employed. Yeah, Ninth Wonder once said, "Stay in your lane." True. Black Lighters said, basically your best-selling beat should be your go-to beat. Yeah, that's the other thing. Every producer from Taylor King to Cody, and Taylor King's the guy that said he made $20,000 in a month off of online beat licenses. He said that I gotta stop reading these comments. He's the one that said if he starts switching up his style, his engagement falls off. So people want a very specific kind of track from some, and let's think about it, right? So like Ninth Wonder, for example, if all of a sudden you heard a Ninth Wonder beat with the 808 Mafia siren in it, you'd be like, what are you doing? We don't want that from you. So it that's how it is, man. You have to be a brand when it comes to your appearance. You have to be a brand when it comes to your content and your consistency. But you also have to be a brand when it comes to your sound. Okay, so now we're talking about, oh yeah, Jeezy and DJ Payne, one of them. Let's make that happen. Somebody contact. I'm just gonna email folk and be like, oh, this is YouTube said it. It's not about being a one trick pony, man. It's about it's about knowing what your core is, what your core sound is. I know what my core sound is, but I'm still gonna make pop records. It's not what is going to be my online marketing strategy. It doesn't matter which artist comes into this room. I'm gonna find a way to work with them. I've worked on country projects in here because I love all kinds of music, but I know what my core is, and that's a powerful thing. I didn't know that for a long time, for a really long time. DJ Ribe, it's possible, but from what I've noticed, you got to upload a beat every day. Okay, so let's talk about this. Nowadays, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea to start out by uploading a beat every day. So maybe you have to upload a beat every day for 3 months just to start building up a subscriber base. Let's talk about that. That is 90 beats. If you don't have 90 beats, you're probably not ready to start selling beats. So get 90 beats, schedule these uploads in 7 at a time. Just spend 2 hours on a Sunday doing that. I mean, we're talking about a career in music. Most careers take years of schooling. Like, to be a plumber, you have to work for years as an apprentice to make that happen. So the fact that you might have to upload 90 consecutive beats to make a living as a musician, that's nothing. You got to do it, man. We can't look at, a lot of us want a career in music, but we don't treat it as a career. And it's just this mental roadblock that we have to get past. We're going to have to work. Actually, in my opinion, Ian Ross and Black Lighters, both of you are right. So YouTube does punish you for uploading too much. And it also rewards you for uploading consistently. Facebook definitely penalizes you, but YouTube, if you're uploading 5 videos a day, your engagement's probably gonna fall off. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do 5. I might do 2, but that's a lot. I upload a video every single day, and my engagement for the most part has gone up. It just depends on, you know what I'm saying. We got Max in here. He's just a 41 time platinum producer. What's going down? I saw he was jumped this past month on my channel, and all he did was upload more frequently. Definitely upload more frequently. Matt Black, remember, Instagram has an algorithm, and Instagram is also owned by Facebook. Instagram's algorithm is not as bad as Facebook's. Facebook's is terrible. But I wouldn't encourage serial posting on Instagram at all. My thing is, check out blueprints. Look at some people who are doing well on Instagram, and check to see how frequently they upload. Check to see what time of day they upload. I only upload I only post to Instagram once a week, but I use that story once a day. You just got to try stuff out, but I don't encourage serial posting on any social media other than maybe Twitter. But definitely use Instagram is a great social media platform right now. It's a great social media platform. Yo, if you want to have talks like this all the time, join Music Entrepreneur Club, please. This is what we do. Let me, because it's not just me. Damn it, man, why can't I type? Did I spell this right? MusicEntrepreneurClub.com. Because it's I'm one person, and I know what I know, and I'm also full of shit sometimes. So, Music Entrepreneur Club is me, Dame Ritter. If you know anything about independent hip hop, you know about Funk Volume. I'm pretty sure. He built a multi-million-dollar grossing independent label, so he knows what he's talking about. Kato obviously knows what he's talking about. Check his social media if you want a good example of a producer who knows how to use social media. Check out Kato on the Track. If Facebook is dead, it's not dead for everybody. There are a lot of us making money off of Facebook. Organically, not so much. Facebook is a great ads platform, though. I'm just gonna leave it at that. You can check my channel for step-by-step tutorials on how to use Ads Manager. I didn't create them. An actual expert in social media marketing, Mike Trampy, did. Because like I said, there are things that I know and there are things that I'm not an expert on, so I don't need to speak on them. So I forget that I'm live streaming sometimes. My bad. Since when did trap become synonymous with unoriginal? I don't know when that happened. I think that's sad that we're having that conversation where you say you either make original sounding beats or you make trap beats. Just because you make beats with, I don't even know what trap means, honestly. When I first heard the term, it meant selling drugs, and now it means like anything with sub bass in it. This beat's about to have sub bass in it. I don't know if you consider it a trap beat, but I don't think this beat sounds like everything else that's out there in that same category. Maybe it does, I don't know. What is the UFC link? Oh, yeah, yeah. Are samples okay to use in industry if emailed? I don't understand that question. No, someone said, wow, no copy and paste, and I think like a second after he said that, I copied and pasted. Samples okay to use if there's nothing wrong with using samples, period, whether it's emailed, whether it's faxed, whether it's sent by carrier pigeon. Samples are fine. The problem is when you don't clear them and then you publish them on a large scale, then that's when problems occur. But no, I've never had that problem, because the labels clear the samples. So life is good. But check my interview with Willie B, because he actually was a part of a lawsuit. This is one of those bigger lawsuits, and they're so rare. These sample clearance lawsuits, people think they're really frequent, because when you hear about it, it scares the hell out of people. But no, this is not. This is water. This is not a 40 ounce. I'm not Darrell Banks. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah. One of the big sample clearance lawsuit cases was Kendrick Lamar, for the Rigor Mortis record, and so I interviewed him about it. It's on my channel. So if you're curious about that, you know. Play the kick and snare over in real time without programming, and then quantize one by one manually. Yeah, I could. Yeah. There's not really swing on this beat. I can show you an example of a beat that does have a ton of swing on it, where I played. You know, I'm when it comes to drums, I program. When it comes to keys, I play. A lot of people are the opposite of that. I think it's this track. But in this one, I did play. At least the hi-hat I played. Honestly, the hi-hat is a really cool thing not to quantize. If you want to add a certain texture, a certain rhythmic texture. I mean, it sounds like I think the drums sound like they're live here. Oh, but a lot of that too is the bass line. I feel like the bass line and the hi-hats kind of do it, because if you take those out, it just depends. To me, it depends on what the beat requires. Honestly, everything is different. Every beat is like a problem that needs to be solved, and you can solve the same problem in multiple ways. I don't know if I quantized this one. This is the one I posted on Twitter. I might have to get off here in a second. It looks like I've been ignoring my phone and actually have some important calls. I don't know anything about. I'm not a lawyer. I think that'd be an interesting conversation to have with the lawyer. The conversation about, from my understanding, yeah, you can certainly copyright melodies. With chord progressions, it would be more difficult. Even with melodies, to an extent, it would be difficult. But I'm not a lawyer. Usually, if I use sample kits, it's from people that I know. Luckily, I'm kind of a part of a community where I just sent out some sample kits today that I was making that haven't come out yet, so stay tuned for those. And then people will, in turn, send me back kits. Like that last beat was a Dream Life sample, so if I use it, if I put it on BeatStars, I just revenue share with Dream Life. If it gets placed, he knows me, I know him. We just work it out. It's kind of a scary time now because everything is so vague. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Hold up. That's what happens when you have the wrong plugin enabled. So you can tell this is the bass line. The bass line is definitely not quantized. Nothing is falling right on straight counts. The original songwriter doesn't have to clear a sample no matter how much money. I'm confused by that. Do you need legal documents to lease your beats on BeatStars? No. There are leasing agreements within the BeatStars system. I mean, you can come with your own and use those. If that's the question you're asking. See, now I'm distracted. Thank you, sir. Heart of the pen. Thank you again. Shout out Ramon, thank you, all the way from Jamaica. Appreciate your country for all of the hours of dancehall music it's given me. Yeah, default BeatStars agreement. I mean, they created those with a lawyer. Yeah, you can make beats in any room. I made the King L, Juicy J, Pusha T record on a bus, not a city bus, but like a tour bus, but still. Oh, I see what you're saying, Rob. It just didn't make sense when you typed it originally, I don't think. Oh, yeah, no, it did make sense. My fault. My brain is fried. Yeah. Sa- um, it gets complicated too because sometimes the people, the artists, don't own or control the recordings. Someone else does, like a label or a publisher or something. So, you know. Sample clearance is not an easy process. I think a lot of people think it is easy. Um, Damn, man, that reminds me. So people, every time we have a sample clearance discussion, somebody brings up um, what's the website that offers the sample clearance, the easy sample clearance? They have a whole catalog of music on their site. Like I said, my brain is fried. Someone tell me. Somebody knows. One of you knows. Tracklib. Yes, thank you. Tracklib. I need to interview them because this is an important conversation. Because I already had a conversation with them about the common misconceptions about sample clearance, especially insofar as producers are concerned. So trust me, it's one of those conversations that we had it in private, but it needed to be had in public. So let me try to figure it. Once I'm done with this stream, and I should probably get off because I'm gonna forget. Once I'm off this stream, I'm gonna contact them again. I don't even know how many people are in here, man. Oh, we have a fair amount. All right, so I've been doing this for an hour. Appreciate all of you. Does anyone have any last minute stuff to add or that you want me to address? I talked a lot. No, I don't think nobody knows about the legalities of MIDI melodies because there are musicologists out there who definitely would know. It's just that nobody who is all that qualified in a professional capacity to speak on it has spoken on it yet. But somebody will. If anybody knows anybody, you know, that'd be a good interview to have. Am I gonna archive this? Yeah, I'm automatically. I think this just automatically goes up on my page. Yeah, no problem. Shout out. The second I said I was about to leave, 20 people left. We still got almost 80 people in here though. It's fine. Who's my next collab with? I actually, from all the A3C collabs I did, I have so many just that I have to finish. So, and that the other producers have to finish. So it's still coming. I just put out a record with a huge rapper named Sarkodie from Ghana this morning. So check that out. It's called Know Me. Check my Twitter. Ghana has taken over my Twitter completely. Shout out to that entire country. I feel like they're all every person from Ghana's on my Twitter timeline showing love. So I appreciate that. All right, everybody, be safe. Yeah, you know what? I thought he was French at first, honestly. I thought he was French because that's where I heard the first time I went to France for a tour. Everybody was talking about him, and they're like, "Oh, you should do work with Sarkodie," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Do you know his email? Oh no, he's a big star. I'm like, oh shit. Well, how can I work with him if you can't even? So now somehow, I'll tell you how I got connected with him. Honestly, I was posting beats to Twitter saying who should rap on this. Sorry if I offended anyone with my terrible French accent. I was posting to Twitter saying who should rap on this beat, and all his fans kept tagging him and saying him over and over again. And I'm just like, yeah, cool, appreciate it. They kept doing it. Finally, there was this one, for whatever reason, this one beat in particular that I made with Dream Life and that Tina G sang on, where Swerve was going down, where his fans just tagged him so many times that he and his management just finally reached out to me and they're like, yo, what's up? So that was last month, and today the song came out. So hopefully there's more to come. But that's the power of the internet. And a lot of people say Twitter's dead too, but I don't know. On that note, use social media wisely. With great power comes great responsibility. Be safe, everyone. Much success to all of you. Appreciate you tuning in. Peace.